the types of guys you need to avoid at all costs.
This is something else.
You blew it.
If his Instagram comments look like this, and their names are all like, I don't know, like Lexi, Lacey, Macy, Michaelin, and they're all really pretty, but he is cheating on you.
You know what? Even if he did do it, you know what I mean?
You blew it.
Obviously DJs, that one's self-explanatory. Guys with Instagram feeds that are like meant to look artsy but really mean absolutely nothing at all.
Women.
You blew it.
Situationship breakups are way worse than real breakups because you feel crazy for being sad about it because you didn't even really date.
She was so beautiful. She was some piece of ass.
You blew it.
Everyone's first question is always, oh my god, how long did you two date? And you're like, okay, what kind of that's such a subjective question.
You blew it.
When you're explaining the details back to your friends, suddenly it sounds just way worse coming out of your mouth than it felt like living it.
Why is everyone so stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent like me?
You blew it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another short video here. We are going to revisit someone we had on the channel about a week or so before. If you remember, this lady went on a date, but it wasn't actually a date. It was a job interview, and there was a few other females there, and then she ended up making out with the dude after the date and hooking up with him. If you remember that video, it's going to be that same individual. She has two other clips that I found that are quite interesting and kind of funny when you look at it from our point of view. Obviously, she probably doesn't see anything wrong with them, but the way we look at it, yeah, it can be kind of hilarious. But we are going to go over those today. So why don't you grab you a beverage, sit back, relax, get you some snacks, and let's go ahead and get into it. Again, my name is Ratboy.
To avoid at all costs. If his Instagram comments look like this, and their names are all like, I don't know, like Lexi, Lacey, Macy, Michaelin, and they're all really pretty, but he is cheating on you.
Yeah, so I cut the background out of all these clips because it really didn't matter. It was all blurred out, but it was basically just some replies and some DMs. Nobody cares.
He is replying to a lot of girls' Instagram stories. He is making out with girls every time he goes out. Every Saturday night, Friday nights too. Thursday night's optional.
Well, but that's because you're choosing the men that do that. There's a lot of men that won't do this at all, but you're not choosing them. You're choosing the Chaz. You're choosing the higher quality, or you think higher quality men that are over a certain height, but in reality the quality men that wouldn't do this to you are going to be men that you would never ever date, and they're men that you just keep in your inbox, and they're possibly even in your friend zone. Let's continue.
Because you might be with him Thursday nights. So you got that. One day a week, you got that. Obviously DJs, that one's self-explanatory. Guys with Instagram feeds that are like meant to look artsy but really mean absolutely nothing at all. Like if you're posting photos of like grass with no cap, what are you talking about?
I just love how this video is, you know, avoid these types of men, but these are the exact type of men that all these women date. These are the exact type of men that slide into their DMs and they will be out with them the next night. And they keep doing this. It's like a rotation. It's a sick cycle is what it is.
What are you talking about ever? And also we have the guy that thinks he's above social media. Like, what do you want us to do? Clap for you every day? Congrats. Also, you're definitely very annoying in high school.
And it's not about guys being above social media. Some guys just don't use it. You know, of course, a lot of men have Instagrams and that's okay. And they might post here and there, but they're not going to be active on social media. A lot of guys aren't. They will use social media to kind of look at their friends and see what their friends are up to, maybe communicate. I know I use social media for like direct messages between friends or whatever, but as far as like guys being active on social media, only a certain type of guy is going to be like heavily active on social media. And then these are the men that these women are, you know, gravitating towards. These are the men that these women are letting into their lives, and then they complain about them because they're too active on social media. Give me a break.
Like I'm 100% sure you're the guy with the pencil in his mouth always being like, not to be devil's advocate, but like, dude, just stop the sentence there. You were done. If you played soccer in high school, I just don't like that. If his name is Tyler, and to be more specific, if his name starts with a consonant, if it doesn't begin with A, E, I, O, or U.
Oh, so now we have something against consonants now? You can't date anyone that their name starts with a consonant. Like, you just can't do it. It's just not going to happen. I can also make an arbitrary rule at that. How about, you just don't online date, because you're obviously finding all these dudes online. And I've said this before, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, or X, or any other social media app. These are all dating apps for women. Like women like this that look just like this, they are on social media apps and they're using them just as dating apps, because they will interact with the dudes sliding in their DMs. They'll interact with the dudes that are, liking their stories and then commenting on their posts. I mean, they do that. It happens on the regular. So just because you think one of these women doesn't have a dating app downloaded, that don't believe for a second they're not actually actively dating on social media.
He is out. Again, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. If he's an aspiring musician, shh. Guys that complain about girls being gold diggers.
They don't want to date an aspiring musician. They don't want to date anyone that's aspiring to be anything. They just want that guy to already be that thing and then give them money.
They're the ones with no gold are always the ones worried about the digging. Like, there's no gold down there. There's a lot of dirt. Didn't even bring a shovel. So.
You know what? I would have the argument. I would actually say that men that don't have a lot have most to lose. Of course, if a guy doesn't have a whole lot of money, he's going to be more worried about a woman coming and taking that from him. Doesn't that make more sense than a guy that's completely loaded? That's always been my thought process behind that.
I think you're good. So, yeah.
And that's very interesting. It kind of gives you a look into the mind of these women, and it really lets you see who they've been sort of gravitating towards, who they've been hanging out with, because they do all hang out with a certain type of guy. They all hang out with this certain type of guy that they find on social media, on dating apps, and they're all pretty much the same dude. They all meet the same criteria. They filter them out by height, weight, income, and they all date the same types of dudes. And sometimes they even come back around and start dating that other same type of dude over and over and over again. So they have to make these little videos to remind themselves not to do that. It's very weird.
Situationship breakups are way worse than real breakups, because you feel crazy for being sad about it because you didn't even really date. But
I mean, I'm not going to call you crazy, but you're definitely not 100% stable. I mean, you can just look in those eyes and tell there's not a lot of stability there. There's just a lot of Starbucks and Ulta products. Let's continue.
You did, but that doesn't count, I guess. And also, when you go to tell people about it, that you're going through a breakup right now and it's a catastrophic event in your life, so mind you, everyone's first question is always, oh my god, how long did you two date? And you're like, okay, what kind of that's such a subjective question. We went on, 2 dates.
Any guy would be lucky, so lucky, to have a situationship with this woman. You know what I mean? Like, she literally posts every day and it's all just stuff like this. Kind of remarkable.
One of them was in my mind. Why is that relevant? Like, what is this, the Oprah Winfrey show? Like, what do you need all the details? Like, something about you is that you're really nosy. You're really nosy. And then when you're explaining the details back to your friends, suddenly it sounds just way worse coming out of your mouth than it felt like living it. Like, you're like, okay, so let me explain. They said that they like me a lot.
These women spend so much time concentrating on dudes that have done them wrong. If they would just concentrate on the dudes that would actually treat them right and would actually make an honest woman out of them, when they were in their 20s, they would have nothing to complain about right now. Can just imagine that. Just imagine a world where we don't have any of this complaining on social media. That is a world I want to live in.
Right. But they just hate hanging out with me. Let me explain that in the context of this specific.
They don't like hanging out with you. They don't hate it. They just like to pump and dump you. You got in a 3-month-long pump and dump situationship, and now you're complaining about it. Who cares?
I think if you were just on the first date with us, the ambiance, they said that they like a lot of things about me, but they hate 10 to 15 parts of my personality. That's, you have to meet them, okay? Like you weren't there when we were alone together, right? You weren't there. And then he didn't text me for like a full week. Here's why, here's why that is, it's
Well, because he was hooking up with someone that probably looked exactly like you, but lived closer, so it was more convenient.
different because he has a job and he doesn't like technology. I've always said I didn't want anyone that's on their phone all the time. Have I showed you guys his Instagram? He's really hot.
And there we have it, gentlemen. You know, these I know that last clip was more of a joke. I mean, let's go ahead and be real. She's making fun out of a heavy situation. She's trying to cope through it the best way she can, and all we can do is pray for her. You know, it's a hard situation trying to do this as a 30-year-old, and you already got mileage, you're running out of time, your biological clock's kicking in, you're really struggling to make sense out of why you're in the position you're in, and they just the only outlet they have, you guys, is TikTok and Instagram. That's literally the only outlet they have. And it's just a sad situation. They think they have friends, but their friends aren't friends. Their friends are keeping them single. If their friends actually cared for them, they would push them into the right direction of the guys that would actually make them happy and would actually spend time with them and cherish them. But that's not going to happen because they are gravitating towards the 6'3" dude. The height is 6'3" now. If you're not 6'3", you're worth less than trash to some of these women. If you're not 6'3" and make six figures, you're basically a bag of trash on the side of the road, and they wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. And that's the truth. That's the truth for a lot of these women that post these TikToks like this. But let me know what you guys think. I am kind of up to my ears in content like this. It's getting kind of it's definitely going somewhere. I don't know if it's going to anywhere positive, but it's definitely going to a place. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe if you like the channel. It really motivates me to keep making videos like this, and I will catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.